So I'm Chris Judge, Senior Technical Officer for PGRO, and we're at the Vining Pea Open Day in Nocton, Lincolnshire, where we host the Vining Pea Descriptive List trials alongside some of the Vining Pea work. Yield is obviously king, but then maturity is kind of queen sort of thing, that you've got, the tension between both of those and looking at the different maturity groupings and then looking at how things are doing within them. Accordingly, also disease is always a big factor given the lack of seed treatments in the UK at the moment. So I've been showing lots of people the downy mildew symptoms and the Pythium damping off symptoms so that people can recognise that more easily if they see that in different places, and sort of then discussing how that's affecting breeding goals for people when importing stuff to the UK. So the Vining Pea Descriptive List is available on our website, on the app and in our magazine and things, and it's a list of all the Vining Pea varieties that have been tested for UK conditions. So to go on the list, things need 3 years of testing, and that testing is done by us at PGRO. So here we've got this year's candidates available on site for people to come and look at, and some of these will be in their first year of testing, some in their second, some in their third year of testing, and those ones should be going on the list in November if the people who've bred them are happy for them to go onto the list. So the main things that we're going to be reporting on the list is going to be their maturity and their yield alongside agronomic traits of interest. So we'll be taking their height, we'll be looking at their standing ability, we'll also be doing downy mildew trials. These are then combined together to form the tables of the list. The hardest things to get is obviously the accurate yield and maturity data, because vining peas need to be taken on the perfect day that they're ready, and in a site like this where you've got hundreds of different varieties, that requires a lot of management and planning to get everything done on the correct day. So in terms of gathering data from the site, we're looking to take 3 different harvests from each different replica in the field so that we can target different maturity values to then be able to do a nice graph figuring out the yield at different tenderometer values. So we have 3 rets, each which is split into 3 harvests, with the goal to be getting a harvest at TR 100 and a TR at a harvest 120. Ideally the third one will be in the middle, but it can also then be used as a backup if any value isn't quite where we were aiming it to be. This then means that for every variety that's then going forward into the descriptive list, every year we get effectively 9 harvests out of it, which then can be used to form from that data. So over the 3 years, there's quite a bit of then data that goes into the final report. The key point of difficulty is the harvest, because when you've got so many varieties to be keeping track of, you can't easily be testing them all the time, because you will, 1, run out of test area, and 2, be creating an incredibly high workload for yourself. So one of the important things we do is that we spend sort of the month before harvest carefully noting the days things go into flower, the days things go out of flower, how many nodes of pods that they're setting, and just generally how they're looking compared to their neighbours of similar maturity, so that we can come up with a rough ranking in mind for harvest ahead of time. We'll obviously be adaptable with that on the fly, but that sort of work is crucial towards making sure that our harvest can happen successfully. The season in general has been an unusual one because it's been quite dry for the past 5 weeks. We've had a little bit of rain over this past weekend, but for a lot of these varieties it's going to be too little too late, because the hot weather has already caused them to abandon their flowers and focus just on filling their pods. There might be a few late varieties that benefit from the rain, but in general these varieties are going to have experienced a long dry season as their default. On the contrary, for drilling, it was very wet in March, where it was very hard to find opportunities to drill the plants, so they drilled slightly later than usual on the 30th of March in quite wet conditions. So it's generally been a bit of a topsy-turvy year with a heavy wet period and a very long dry period. To find out more about the Vining Pea Descriptive List, you can read our vegetable magazine or go to pgro.org.